What's up, garden nerds? Another Saturday, another day in the yard. It is an awesome day. I think we're like in the low 90s today. It's beautiful, it's springtime. Everything is coming back to life. Everything looks great. Taught a class on soil this morning at Desert Horizon Nursery. It was a great class, and now I'm out here making some decisions that have been very hard to make. Here is one of them. So this is my messy area. I might ask your guys' opinion and advice on this, but this is my Chinese lantern that finally I got in the ground. I'm gonna grow it right here. This is right inside our TV room downstairs, and I think it would be cool. I'm gonna have to do some type of trellis or wire that goes across here to support it, but my idea is to have it spread out around this area and then drop down here, and it drops down and we see the Chinese lanterns, the flowers from the TV room. I think that'd be really cool. So this is in the ground. This is on a north facing wall, so it's gonna get a good amount of shade, but it will also keep it warm in the winter from the heat of the house. So that's in the ground. Something really cool that has me excited today. I get excited about worms, guys. So I made a video on Instagram and posted it. I don't know if the worms are still here, but I guess let's see. I pulled some of this back because I was considering planting something here, but I didn't. And there were just worms everywhere. Don't know. Yep, there they are. Ducking in real fast. Another one. As soon as you expose them, they duck in the ground real fast. Oh, there's another one. But there were just worms everywhere, and I love that. This used to be rocky, hard, dry soil, but over time, with growing this living ground cover of yellow dot and just adding tons of organic material, wood chips, branches, grass clippings, everything, it's now just this thriving soil, which is awesome. Check out some of my mango seedlings. There's one, there's one back behind. Here's some right there, right there. They're growing good. Seedlings, in my experience, take a year or two to kind of get established and get going, but they don't really care too much about the cold during that year or two. And then once they're established, they kind of just take off. So I'm excited to see these ones take off. Here's my snow, tropic snow, peach tree. I still need to thin these. I'm gonna thin these tomorrow morning. My giant elephant ear. The goal here as well is that this grows up and looks cool. Looking out the window, got yellow dot back here, some clover. Again, 3 mangoes planted closely together. Planted this one in the ground today. I forget the name of this. It was an inside plant, but when I was in California, I saw it growing outside a lot, and I believe it can grow outside, so I just put that in the ground. But here's my dilemma. What I said I'd ask your guys' opinion on. This is the only area where I store my tools. I don't like the way it looks. It looks bad. Here I have like all my pots and stuff. That thing I had for a while, but it's not meant to be outside. It's all torn up. I need something back here. I don't know, like a workbench or a tool bench that can then be turned into, you know, all my gardening stuff and look halfway decent. I'm just not sure what to do, but it just looks trashy. This is the last area in my yard that looks trashy. I don't like it. I just don't know how to store all these things back here and make it look nice. Any ideas? Let me know. Here's one thing I did today. I planted, finally, all of these longer, taller pots inside the big pot are moringas. So I'm getting those going. That way I can give them away when I teach classes, maybe sell them, raffle them off, give them to people in the gardener club, whatever. But I'm just gonna do a batch in here every few weeks throughout the summer. And then I also planted sugarcane. Here's actually some sugarcane right here actually growing. So I cut it down and propagated it. I put a video of how I did it inside the gardener club as well, if you remember there. But same thing, I'll give them away at classes, give them to Garden Nerd members, sell them, whatever. But super easy to propagate sugarcane. And they'll get shaded as they're young seedlings and they start to grow by this pomegranate tree. and by the apple tree. What else do I have going on? So here, last Sunday, I planted in these garden beds. I finally cleared out all the old broccoli that had gone to seed and everything else, and I planted seeds. You can see though, and I've talked about this before, I don't pull out last year's crop because it has roots in the ground. Those roots have microorganisms around them. They're feeding them. If we pull them out, they also have soil structure around there. If we pull them out, we're disturbing the soil life and we're hurting the soil. So I just let them stay in there. No big deal. They'll be completely gone when it warms up all the way. But anyways, in this one, I planted a couple watermelon seeds. I just want this completely full of watermelon this summer. And then over here, I planted some corn. I did corn once a few years back and it grew really well, but it didn't produce really good corn. And after, looking back to everything I did and just assessing the situation, they just didn't have enough sun. They did not get the required amount of sun that corn needs. So in this area, they should get enough sun. So got corn in here. And then in here, I started some tomatoes a month or so ago. They haven't done much just because it hasn't been super warm. But now that it's warming up, I expect them to get going. And then right here, I threw some sunflower seeds in there. So that's what I have going in these 3 beds. Got my mangoes going over here, looking good. This is the only grafted mango. The rest are seedlings. That's a Kent, one of my favorite varieties. You can see it's flowering. I'm not going to let it bear fruit. I'll get those flowers off of there. Right now I'm just trying to establish a good canopy, good roots, and then probably not next year, but the year after, I will let it fruit. I wait a very long time before I let my mango trees fruit. Under this beast, check it out, mulberry. If you look closely, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but it is just loaded with mulberries. Gets me so excited. Let's see, in here you can see there they are. They're starting to turn, starting to eat a few of them. As I'm out here, I'm gonna have thousands and thousands. There's some up there. Under here, it's like you just start lifting up leaves and finding tons of them. So super excited about that. This creates a nice canopy. When we're swimming in the pool, you kind of jump out. The grass is starting to come in nice as it warms up, but lay your towels down here and hang out. It's an awesome tree to have. Let me show you one more thing. I uploaded a video a few weeks ago about this area. This wall faces east, gets blasted pretty hot, retains heat. It's just tough to grow anything here. So I made a video about planting castor bean seeds, and I was getting worried. I was like, what the heck, none of them are popping up. But they started to. There's one right there that popped up, and then right there, you can see it, that popped up. So it just wasn't hot enough yet, but now that it's heated up, they are starting to sprout. So I'm hoping here in the next few days, I see a few more sprout up, which will be exciting because then this wall will completely be covered in castor bean and look really cool and tropical in the pool area. Looks like these cannas are about to flower. They have awesome red flowers, so that's cool. Let's see. Date palm is looking good. Tons of lemons still. Lemon or orange blossoms, look at that. Smells so good. You guys know how they smell. You know what I'm smelling right now. Love them this time of year. These awesome new good looking leaves with these clusters of blossoms. So beautiful. What else do I have going on? That's pretty much it. Nothing new. I got to figure out where to plant this silk floss tree. I think I'm going to plant it right here. It's not too close to the house right there. The house will help keep it warm. It will offer these garden beds some shade in the afternoon in the summer, which they could use. So I think that's where that's going. Then I got to figure out where to plant my goji berry. Haven't figured out where to plant that yet. So next I gotta get all the crops out of here. These are all soon to be picked carrots. Got some lettuce in here, although it's getting warm. This one's going to seed. This is still good. I'll probably have a nice salad out of that tomorrow, but that's looking good. Got to get that out of there and then plant some summer crops. I think I'm going to do loofah in here and have it grow up and over. And then in here, here's my spinach gone to seed. In here, oh, that's crazy. I don't know if you guys could see that. Tons of dust flies out. I don't think you can see it in the video. That's kind of cool. Oh, and then here's my cabbage. That is soon to be ready as well. But in this one, I think I'm going to do pumpkin underneath, and then on top, either do loofah or sweet potato vine. I'll just train the sweet potato vine to go up and over. And then what that will do is, I'm always really good at growing pumpkins in the spring into midsummer, but once like August hits, they just can't take the sun, and they just die, or if they don't die, they're not gonna produce any pumpkins. The pumpkins that were there die. So what that will do, if I have the sweet potato vine growing and covering by the middle of summer, it will protect the pumpkin vine underneath them. The pumpkin vine can fall down this way, you know, come out, fall down to the ground, and it will be protected. We'll see. I've never gotten large jack-o'-lantern type pumpkins, so that's what I'm hoping to do here. But anyways, oh, one more thing. Castor bean. It's almost ready to pick these and have tons of seeds. If anybody needs seeds and you're in the Gardener Club, let me know. I got you. But as soon as I get the seeds, I'm cutting this down so that my mangoes back in there, their can is starting to flower back in there. I don't know if you can see it, but so my mangoes back in there get more sun. They want more sun. So I'll get that out of there. That's what I have going on, guys. A lot more going on too, but that's all I'll show you for now. Thanks for watching. Tell me what you're doing out in your yard, enjoying this beautiful, awesome weather. Take it easy, garden nerds.